Hi, friends, it's Deb, and we are into week 2 of January's theme. And as we move into week 2, we're shifting our focus slightly here. Last week was about arriving, about listening, about understanding our energy without trying to change it. Now, this week is not about getting rid of energy or fixing ourselves. It's about gently noticing what drains us and beginning to loosen our relationship with it. Now, before we can release anything, we need to recognize it. So, let's talk about draining energy. When we talk about draining energy, we're not talking about obvious things like exhaustion or stress. Draining energy can show up as holding tension in the body, repeating the same thoughts, pushing through when we need rest, carrying emotions that haven't had space to move, habits of effort that feel familiar but costly. So this week then is about bringing awareness to these patterns with kindness, of course, and not judgment. Nothing needs to be forced away. So one of the most important things to remember is that awareness comes before release. We don't release by pushing something out. We release by seeing clearly and allowing space. And often when something has been draining our energy, it has been doing so quietly and over time. It may even feel normal. But this week invites us to notice gently, where does my energy leak? Where do I hold when I could soften, right? And what feels heavy or effortful right now? Now, there's no need to answer these questions immediately. Seemingly noticing is enough. And that's really the key, is having the awareness and noticing. I was working on something just in the last few days, and actually mine was showing up as more dysregulation in my nervous system, more stress, doing a lot of research, and all these different things that just didn't feel, for the project that I was working on, that it would be the best doable process to go, where to go with this. And I had to then come into myself and take time. And I'll be talking about what to do in a moment here, but taking the time to slow down, to deeply rest, to meditate, to check in with my inner wisdom. I did all those things, and I'll talk about a little bit more in just a sec, but those are the things that helped me to realize what part of this project I had to let go. So having that awareness of what I was feeling, where I was feeling it, I was getting like slight headaches. I was tense in the back of my neck and my shoulders. So I was really noticing all these things physically, and how my thoughts just kept going around in circles. And, sometimes you go down a rabbit hole, and that's what I did with my research. So if we want to release whatever this is that's draining our energy, and this was totally draining my energy, and I feel so much better now. Release happens best when the nervous system feels safe. So whatever it is that you need to do to help your nervous system. This is why this week is going to include slower practices and deep rest in our meditations. I have a yoga nidra on Thursday night, that class. We're going to create the conditions for letting go rather than trying to make it happen. Okay? And sometimes energy releases in obvious ways. Sometimes it happens quietly. Sometimes it happens later after rest. And that's what happened in my case, when I was like, okay, I'm just going to totally rest with this and meditate and let it go and watch some comedies. And all of that is okay. Okay. So how to work with all of this week. So as you move through the week, stay curious rather than critical. Let the practices meet you where you are. That's the most important piece here, is meet yourself where you are in the moment. Don't try to overdo it. Do what you can, even if it's just a few breaths, right? And then maybe you'll find you can do something else. Take rest when you need it. And remember that you're not behind. Clearing what drains us does not mean becoming lighter overnight. It means becoming more honest, more transparent, more spacious, and more supported. Okay? So this week is an invitation. It's not an assignment. You don't need to decide what to let go of. You don't need to make anything happen. Simply notice what feels draining and allow awareness to begin the work. And honestly, that is enough. So if you'd like, you can join me on the Peaceful Path with our daily meditations and once a week evening meditation. I would love to have you join us. The recordings are always available after the classes in our school community. And speaking of the school community, I hope you'll join our school community so you can connect with others of like mind. So thank you so much for listening, my friends, and stay true to yourself and just be with who you are. I wish you peace.